This is News Talk 750, KFQD. You can call the show at 522-0750 or outside of Anchorage at 888-9090-750.
KFQD, AM 750, it's Kelly Lee in the house with D. What's up, y'all? I am having a good time. I hope you're having a good time listening. If you're calling in, it's 522-0750. If you want to call in outside of Anchorage, it's 888-9090750. I'm also on Twitter. I want some Twitter friends here. Kelly L. Williams. Tweet me, give me a tweet, or join me on Facebook, Kelly Lee Williams. Google my name, you'll find my Facebook, Kelly Lee Williams. And in the studio, I have two awesome simultaneous guests right now. On the line, I have the mayor of Anchorage, Dan Sullivan. And in front of me, I have Alaskan chef, Suzette Lord. So I got the politics and I got the food all at once. So I'm a happy, happy man. Hey, Suzette, how you doing? Good morning. Glad to be there. There she is. Hey, I'm glad you brought some goodies up in here. I'm being a brother, man. I'm tempted to just start attacking and forget about the show entirely, but I have to be professional, so I'm going to do that. So I'm also going to bring Mayor Sullivan into the conversation. Let me bring him in. There's a blinky, and right on the line, I have the Anchorage mayor, Dan Sullivan. Mayor Sullivan, how are you this morning?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I am excellent. I just got through talking to Tom Dreesen.
I heard the interview, and I thought, I've tuned into some national radio show. You got this smooth host and a nationally recognized guest. Holy cow, that's a tough act to follow.
Well, come on, Mayor Sullivan. You're the mayor. Come on, you're not a tough act to follow. You are the act. That's why we wanted you on here. And you're also on with Alaskan chef Suzette Lord, who says...
Good morning, Mayor.
Hey, hi, Suzette.
Hey, she says she loves you and you love her cooking. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can prove it mathematically by the width of my girth that we love her cooking.
Thank you.
Oh, we don't want to discuss the girth of the mayor on the airwaves.
Oh, dear.
I had to go there. I had to. All right, Mayor Sullivan, I just want to get a little background on you because I didn't know any of these things until I actually went to your site, muni.org, and it's your biography. You're a fourth-generation Alaskan, third of 9 children, to George and Margaret Sullivan, and your wife Lynette is an award-winning elementary school teacher, and your daughter Jennifer graduated with honors from the Anchorage School District.
I know. Where'd I go wrong? Geez.
Exactly, and from the University of Oregon, which you graduated too. So you have a child that graduated from Oregon, and you graduated from Oregon.
I know. In fact, when I took her down to college, she didn't want to go there because I went there. You know how kids are. They go, no, I'm not going to go to the same place you went. And it was a beautiful spring day over on the Eugene campus, and kids were out doing everything, and the campus was alive, and she goes, this is pretty good. Plus, she got a pretty good scholarship, so that helped a lot.
Yeah, that helps a little bit, Right on. But I'm glad you brought that up. Your daughter didn't want to follow in your footsteps, but you followed in some pretty big footsteps. Your father was also the mayor of Anchorage, and I look at a man that says, my dad is the most powerful man in this city. A lot of pressure, a lot of problems. I think I should do that, too. I mean, what makes a man follow the footsteps of a mayor of a city?
Well, I'm not so sure that it was my burning ambition in life. In fact, I didn't run for public office till I was 49 years old, and so I waited a long, long time after he had been mayor. He was mayor last in 1981, so... a good almost 20 years had gone by before I decided to run for public office. And so it wasn't, the direct career path, but there's just something in the blood, I guess, when you're involved in politics. And when you live in a place that you absolutely just love to death, like I do Anchorage, I think at some point you decide, okay, how can I give back to this great community? And public service is just something that kind of runs in the veins here. My grandmother was the first woman mayor in Alaskan history. She was the mayor in Valdez in the early 1930s, and so I guess it's part of the family tradition.
Yeah. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I've got 8 brothers and sisters.
8 brothers and sisters. Wow. Yep. So I mean, are any of them in politics as well, or did your dad say, why can't you be more like Dan? Did that ever get into a sibling rivalry with I'm the mayor?
Not so much. My sister is on the city council in Wasilla. She'd served on the council about a decade ago, and then did some work for couple different gubernatorial administrations, and then now she's ran last year and was elected to the city council again. So she's currently an elected official as well.
Oh, right on. That's cool. And there is something that I wanted to bring up, but I'll bring that up a little bit later. But I wanted to bring up also Good News, Great Kids, your program that recognizes outstanding youth. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's been a program, I think, that started under the Maestrom administration, and it essentially recognizes students who have had obstacles to overcome in their academic career but have found the right path forward, and generally attribute their success to one particular educator that was particularly influential to them. And so we not only honor the student and their achievements, but then the student has an opportunity to recognize the teacher that gave them the inspiration to overcome. And it can be a very, very touching evening as people get into their tales, and particularly when they give their thanks to the inspiring teachers. You know, my wife's been a teacher for almost 20 years, and it's you see them working with children, and a lot of times there are very big challenges, and when kids overcome those, it's a great story.
Excellent, excellent. I mean, this brings up to our subject that we've been talking about all the show. By the way, we're listening to Mayor Dan Sullivan on KFQD, Kelly Lee Williams, and also has Suzette Lord in the studio with some goodies that I can't wait to eat. But
Suzette, do you need the address to the mayor's office with goodies?
I was hoping you were going to be here today. I brought goodies for you.
Well, actually, yes, I was hoping too. I guess I didn't make myself clear that I actually wanted the mayor in the studio. I was going to surprise you with this salmon substance of yumminess. I mean, you are missing out, Mayor. This is
man,
good.
You're killing me.
Good, because next time you'll be in the studio. But as far as our kids go, I mean, we were talking about the subject of bullying, about how we dealt with bullies growing up, how we help our kids deal with bullies. I'm sure your wife had to have seen many instances of bullying amongst the children in her years of experience. How about you? What was your experience growing up with bullying? I mean, did you have to deal with a bunch of tough kids in your neighborhood? Did you have to fight back? What was your experience?
Well, I was the bully.
Oh, well, that's why you're mayor now. I mean, that's perfect.
It's good to have it from another perspective. Nobody ever thinks about what the bully goes through. So,
well, why don't you tell us, when you're pummeling a person, what's going through your mind, Mayor?
You know, it's a feeling of empowerment, but soon followed by despair and depression. And so, no, I grew up, like I say, I grew up with 8 brothers and sisters, and in that bunch was 2 older brothers. So, believe me, I knew at an early age what it was like to defend your turf, if you will. Bullying, it has changed, I think, over time. I think it was not so much an issue because it just was part of the culture that bigger kids picked on smaller kids, and sometimes the smaller kids would gang up and try and defend themselves, and and like I think Tom Dreesen mentioned, I liked his comments that there was in the neighborhoods, I think, a kind of a self-structure of enforcement where certain things didn't cross certain lines, but you had to defend yourself, and you had to develop some toughness, because that's just the human nature, particularly amongst boys, that they seem to want to establish their turf, and as they're developing and growing, they like to flex their muscles, and sometimes the underlings are the ones that get the brunt of that. But nowadays, and particularly in schools, there's been some incidents that have resulted in very, very tragic circumstances, including suicides and others. And so clearly, it can cross the line between friendly or semi-friendly interaction between young adults and preteens, and crossing a line to where you're actually inflicting both physical and emotional damage on someone. And the schools have to be more aware than ever that this happens. And a good friend of mine, Dennis Maloney, is a local attorney, and he has actually led the efforts for the Anchorage School District's awareness on bullying. He's represented several clients that were victims, and this has essentially been very costly for the school district in some cases because they didn't take proactive action. And so, again, it's a very current topic, and it's something certainly that we all need to be aware of and do our best to prevent.
Hey, we're talking to Mayor Dan Sullivan, Anchorage Mayor, and we're talking to Suzette Lord in the studio, 1 AM News Talk 750 KFQD. I want to go to a call before we go to break real quick. Johnny from Chicago Heights is on for Suzette. Has a question for Suzette. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
Hey, doing good, Kelly. What's up?
Dude, what are you thinking? I'm talking to the mayor. I got food in my studio, and Suzette, I'm doing all right, my brother. Why don't you tell us how you doing?
You're living the life up there, bud.
Yeah, I think you got something for Suzette.
Hi, good morning.
Suzette, hey, how rough is it up in your area now that, freshness is kind of the theme lately in the culinary arts? How rough is it for you up there? Or is it a seasonal thing, or you just learn to work around it, or how's it go?
Part of it is teaching people how to put up food, how to what you can freeze and how you keep it, how to dry foods, what works best for making us keep going through the winter here.
Yeah, you know what? We got a bunch of places to freeze. We can freeze stuff right in our front yard as cold as it gets here in Alaska.
Like freezing avocados, or how you make duels with mushrooms so you can freeze them. And
well, does that answer your question, John? I'm sure it does.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thanks, John. I appreciate
Thank you for calling.
Hey, we got Mayor Sullivan online. We're going to have you. Can you come back after the break, Mayor?
Sure.
All right, we're going to ask a Mayor another question right after the break. We're going to have a little talk, and we're at KFQD, AM 750, Kelly Lee Williams.